Good morning, Paul. It's Monday, the 28th of November. Here's the heads up brief for today.
Excellent. Good morning, Uday. Hope you're off to a cracking start this wonderful Monday and hope you weren't too destructive upon oneself over the weekend. Go ahead.
Thanks, Paul. Paul, the big news out of the East Asia Pacific region is that the protests across China yesterday and over the weekend, including in Shanghai and Beijing, these were against the COVID policies and the lockdowns. China has pursued a zero COVID policy, and people are protesting against that now.
Yeah, look, it's interesting. I mean, we've got information that says they're going to release it in March. Um, Perhaps it's highlighting a bit of severe inflexibility, but perhaps there's reasons behind it. We're not sure, but let's just keep an eye on those protests because it's unusual that they'd be prolonged in China, given how they have a tendency to deal with them quite heavily-handedly.
Yeah, definitely. We'll keep an eye out, Paul. Paul, in Thailand, the United Thai Nation Party said that Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha is welcome to join it. So this is a new party that's been associated with Prayut. The party is led by an ex-Democrat MP, Kun Pirapan. It said that it would
Okay. Yeah,
take
what's his background, do you know?
Yeah, Paul, he's a former Democrat MP who was close to Prayut. He had left the Democrat Party, and he said that the party will also take PPRP members, the Palang Pracharat members, who leave with Prayut.
Do you know how many of those would be
No,
included?
no, at this point we don't know, Paul.
Okay, look, if I'm correct, is that he's got a wheelbarrow surname? Something sounds like Pirapan Salira Tawapak or something like that. Is that the guy?
That's the one. That's the one, Paul.
Okay, so look, he's fairly influential, and if you remember back to when free and fair elections were held, and everybody thought that would be the end of Prayut, leading up to those elections, actually made a statement that he's a master strategic thinker. He will develop a whole heap of new parties and get enough of the popular vote to ensure that he can guarantee to his bosses, which are the royal family, that he can restore Thailand to stability and get away from the tax and narcissism-led greed that was abusing one man, one vote. Now, if you ask anyone from a farming area in the east, Taksin's a genius, but of course they're not political analysts, they're farmers. So they were getting conned that what was leading to the red shirt, yellow shirt demonstrations. It was leading to a real mess in the Thai economy, much worse than it is now, by the way, and much worse than it was at even the height of COVID. So of interest, I think he's going to do the same thing again. Has he mentioned potentially joining any other parties?
No, Paul. It's been basically this party. This has come after last week. Rumors of him and Prawit, their feud came about again, and this is the first time he's commented since. So he's been pretty tight-lipped, and he said we'll find out his political future next year, but nothing else.
Okay, I thought he said something about potentially joining the Ruam Thai Sang Chart party.
Paul, that's the same party in the Thai name.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Gotcha. Of course it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So look, this is very interesting because I'm still not convinced the pro-wit thing is real. It could be just a way of taking more votes to areas that are controlled ultimately by the royal family. Okay.
Yeah.
Or alternatively, if it is real, Prayut's probably going to stitch him up and teach him a lesson. Okay. So watch that space. I think it's going to be fascinating. Can't wait for the Thai election. Um, After 3 years of political fatigue on Thailand, I'm starting to get interested again because Prayut's a master chess player. Looking forward to if he can win yet another Thai championship.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye out on that, Paul. Thanks. That was a lot of interesting context. Moving over to South Asia, Paul. In Pakistan, Imran Khan has called off his protest march. His party will resign from the provincial assemblies to try to force snap elections.
Okay, that's interesting. Is that really because he hasn't got the momentum he thought he would get? His bluffs fallen afoul, or what do you think?
Uh, I do think it is a bit of that, Paul. He hasn't been able to mobilize as much as he claimed that he would be able to. And I guess people don't want to go out and protest right now when there's a lot of issues.
Okay, gotcha. Thanks.
Paul, in India, the Karnataka police have increased security around major temples across the state. This is following a suspected terrorist attack in Mangalore that happened on November 19th.
Okay, interesting, mate. Keep an eye on that.
Yeah,
Still no real understanding of who's done it, I'm assuming.
no. Indian authorities said it was an IS linked, Islamic State linked group or
Yep.
operative, but no clarity so far.
Okay, thanks.
Lastly, in the EMEA, Europe, Middle East, and Africa region, Paul, Ukrainian President Zelensky said that Russia is expected to launch new missile attacks against energy infrastructure. We had discussed recently how about 40% of Ukraine's energy infrastructure is offline following the Russian withdrawal from Kherson city.
Yes, look, I think there's perhaps another bigger issue coming as the winter freeze comes in. Russian armored vehicles can move. What people are seeing as a withdrawal may in fact been remustering forces so that they can gain element of surprise, concentration of force, screen back in. So Russia has a history of utilising winters very, very effectively. We're getting reports of a lot of mustering of forces along the borders, and the numbers of those are significant. So I think Zelensky and his time with DC and his shift from going to have chats with Russia when he was a comedian vying for power, and then his sudden change after his flights to DC to play the game with America may not end well for him in the eyes of history right now. Everyone loves him, but the reality of what he did in taking them down a path of NATO, allowing people to ignore the Minsk agreement, still ignoring what was said and written and negotiated and signed off on the Minsk agreement. I don't think Zelensky's going to end up a shining beacon like he is now come history. I think history will show he was a pawn, another pawn used by Western powers for their own gain, particularly that of Uncle Sam's.
Yeah, that's interesting, Paul. That's the heads up brief for today. Anything else from you?
No, good luck with the management meetings later on, and cheers. Appreciate
Yep.
it. Thanks.
Thanks, Paul.